Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The third planet from the Sun, the planet we live on. A connection between an electrical device and a large conducting body, such as the Earth, which is taken to be at zero voltage. The concerns of this life is distinguished from heaven and the afterlife. The solid part of the Earth's surface. The Earth shook for several minutes. The loose soft material that makes up a large part of the land surface. They dug into the earth outside the church. Connect to the earth. Earth the circuit. Hide in the earth like a hunted animal. Once thought to be one of four elements composing the universe, Empedocles. The abode of mortals, as contrasted with heaven or hell. It was hell on earth. The third planet from the Sun, the planet we live on. An object with a spherical shape. A sphere on which a map, especially of the Earth, is represented. People in general, especially a distinctive group of people with some shared interest. The Western world. People in general considered as a whole. All of your experiences that determine how things appear to you. His world was shattered. The third planet from the Sun, the planet we live on. He sailed around the world. Involving the entire Earth, not limited or provincial in scope. A world crisis. The concerns of this life is distinguished from heaven and the afterlife. They consider the Church to be independent of the world. Everything that exists anywhere. All of the living human inhabitants of the earth. All the world loves a lover. A part of the earth that can be considered separately. The outdoor world. Material in the top layer of the surface of the earth in which plants can grow, especially with reference to its quality or use. The part of a scene, or picture, that lies behind objects in the foreground. He posed her against a background of rolling hills. A rational motive for a belief or action. The grounds for their declaration. Hit or reach the ground. A relation that provides the foundation for something. Cover with a primer. Apply a primer to. A connection between an electrical device and a large conducting body, such as the Earth, which is taken to be at zero voltage. Fix firmly and stably. Use as a basis for, found on. Bring to the ground. The storm grounded the ship. The solid part of the Earth's surface. He dropped the logs on the ground. The loose soft material that makes up a large part of the land surface. The first or preliminary coat of paint or size applied to a surface. A position to be won or defended in battle, or as if in battle. They gained ground step by step. A relatively homogeneous percept extending back of the figure on which attention is focused. Art. The surface, as a wall or canvas, prepared to take the paint for a painting. Confine or restrict to the ground. After the accident, they grounded the plane and the pilot. Connect to a ground. Ground the electrical connections for safety reasons. Hit a ground ball. He grounded to the second baseman. Hit onto the ground. Instruct someone in the fundamentals of a subject. Place or put on the ground. Throw to the ground in order to stop play and avoid being tackled behind the line of scrimmage. The concerns of this life is distinguished from heaven and the afterlife. The concerns of this life is distinguished from heaven and the afterlife. The solid part of the Earth's surface. Material in the top layer of the surface of the Earth in which plants can grow, especially with reference to its quality or use. The land had never been plowed. The territory occupied by a nation. He returned to the land of his birth. A politically organized body of people under a single government. An industrialized land. United States inventor who incorporated Polaroid film into lenses and invented the one-step photographic process, 1909 to 1991. Extensive landed property, especially in the country, retained by the owner for his own use. The family owned a large estate on Long Island. Reach or come to rest. The bird landed on the highest branch. Bring into a different state. This may land you in jail. The people who live in a nation or country. Arrive on shore. The ship landed in Pearl Harbor. Cause to come to the ground. The pilot managed to land the airplane safely. Agriculture considered as an occupation or way of life. There's no work on the land anymore. The solid part of the Earth's surface. The plane turned away from the sea and moved back over land. Shoot at and force to come down. The enemy landed several of our aircraft. Territory over which rule or control is exercised. He made it the law of the land. A domain in which something is dominant. A land of make-believe. Bring ashore. The drug smugglers landed the heroin on the beach of the island. Deliver, a blow. He landed several blows on his opponent's head. The land on which real estate is located. He built the house on land leased from the city. The solid part of the Earth's surface. The solid part of the Earth's surface. The process of bringing ideas or events together in memory or imagination. Shifting from one form of transportation to another. A relation between things or events, as in the case of one causing the other or sharing features with it. An instrumentality that connects. The act of bringing two things into contact, especially for communication. A connecting shape. An instrumentality that connects. An uninflected function word that serves to conjoin words or phrases or clauses or sentences. Connecting or tending to connect. Connective remarks between chapters. An instrumentality that connects. The process of bringing ideas or events together in memory or imagination. Shifting from one form of transportation to another. The plane was late and he missed his connection in Atlanta. A relation between things or events, as in the case of one causing the other or sharing features with it. There was a connection between eating that pickle and having that nightmare. An instrumentality that connects. He soldered the connection. The act of bringing two things into contact, especially for communication. There was a connection via the internet. The state of being connected. The connection between church and state is inescapable. A connecting shape. A supplier, especially of narcotics. Usually plural. A person who is influential and to whom you are connected in some way, as by family or friendship. He has powerful connections. An instrumentality that connects. He didn't have the right connector between the amplifier and the speakers. Be on the mind of. A commercial or industrial enterprise and the people who constitute it. A racially integrated business concern. Be relevant to. Something or someone that causes anxiety, a source of unhappiness. New York traffic is a constant concern. An anxious feeling. A feeling of sympathy for someone or something. She felt strong concern for those less fortunate. Something that interests you because it is important or affects you. The safety of the ship is the captain's concern. A tangible and visible entity. An entity that can cast a shadow. The goal intended to be attained, and which is believed to be attainable. The sole object of her trip was to see her children. A tangible and visible entity. An entity that can cast a shadow. It was full of rackets, balls and other objects. Be averse to or express disapproval of. My wife objects to modern furniture. Computing. A discrete item that provides a description of virtually anything known to a computer. In object-oriented programming, objects include data and define its status, its methods of operation and how it interacts with other objects. Express or raise an objection or protest or criticism or express dissent. She never objected to the amount of work her boss charged her with. Grammar, a constituent that is acted upon. The object of the verb. The focus of cognitions or feelings. Objects of thought. Informal terms for personal possessions. Overeat or eat immodestly, make a pig of oneself. She stuffed herself at the dinner. Fill with a stuffing while cooking. Have you stuffed the turkey yet? Senseless talk. Don't give me that stuff. Obstruct. My nose is all stuffed. The tangible substance that goes into the makeup of a physical object. Wheat is the stuff they use to make bread. Press or force. A critically important or characteristic component. Suspense is the very stuff of narrative. Cram into a cavity. The child stuffed candy into his pockets. Fill tightly with a material. Stuff a pillow with feathers. Information in some unspecified form. It was stuff I had heard before. Miscellaneous unspecified objects. The trunk was full of stuff. Treat with grease, fill, and prepare for mounting. Stuff a bearskin. Unspecified qualities required to do or be something. The stuff of heroes. Artifact made by weaving or felting or knitting or crocheting natural or synthetic fibers. She measured off enough material for a dress. Having substance or capable of being treated as fact, not imaginary. Having material or physical form or substance. The tangible substance that goes into the makeup of a physical object. Coal is a hard black material. A person judged suitable for admission or employment. He was university material. Concerned with or affecting physical as distinct from intellectual or psychological well-being. Material needs. Concerned with worldly rather than spiritual interests. Material possessions. Derived from or composed of matter. The material universe. Directly relevant to a matter, especially a law case. His support made a material difference. Information, data or ideas or observations, that can be used or reworked into a finished form. The archives provided rich material for a definitive biography. Things needed for doing or making something. Writing materials. Be or go into hiding. Keep out of sight, as for protection and safety. Make undecipherable or imperceptible by obscuring or concealing. The dressed skin of an animal, especially a large animal. Body covering of a living animal. Prevent from being seen or discovered. Hide the money. Be or go into hiding. Keep out of sight, as for protection and safety. Cover as if with a shroud. An artifact that is one of the individual parts of which a composite entity is made up, especially a part that can be separated from or attached to a system. A component or constituent element of a system. Any of the more than 100 known substances, of which 92 occur naturally, that cannot be separated into simpler substances and that singly or in combination constitute all matter. An abstract part of something. The grammatical elements of a sentence. A straight line that generates a cylinder or cone. One of four substances thought in ancient and medieval cosmology to constitute the physical universe. The alchemists believed that there were four elements. The most favorable environment for a plant or animal. Water is the element of fishes. The situation in which you are happiest and most effective. In your element. A determination of the place where something is. The act of putting something in a certain place. A point or extent in space. A workplace away from a studio at which some or all of a movie may be made. They shot the film on location in Nevada. Land that is covered with trees and shrubs. A group of many islands in a large body of water. A strip of land running along a beach. A sleeveless garment like a cloak but shorter. A strip of land projecting into a body of water. Extensive tract of level open land. A university town in east-central Illinois adjoining Urbana. A plain adjacent to a coast. A branch of knowledge. A particular kind of commercial enterprise. They are outstanding in their field. The area that is visible, as through an optical instrument. A particular environment or walk of life. The space around a radiating body within which its electromagnetic oscillations can exert force on another similar body not in contact with it. A piece of land prepared for playing a game. The home crowd cheered when Princeton took the field. A place where planes take off and land. Extensive tract of level open land. He longed for the fields of his youth. A region where a battle is being, or has been, fought. They made a tour of Civil War battlefields. A region in which active military operations are in progress. The army was in the field awaiting action. A geographic region, land or sea, under which something valuable is found. The diamond fields of South Africa. All of the horses in a particular horse race. All the competitors in a particular contest or sporting event. Answer adequately or successfully. The lawyer fielded all questions from the press. A piece of land cleared of trees and usually enclosed. He planted a field of wheat. Catch or pick up balls in baseball or cricket. Computer science, a set of one or more adjacent characters comprising a unit of information. Mathematics, a set of elements such that addition and multiplication are commutative and associative and multiplication is distributive over addition and there are two elements 0 and 1. The set of all rational numbers as a field. Play as a fielder. Select a team or individual player for a game. The Buckeyes fielded a young new quarterback for the Rose Bowl. Somewhere, away from a studio or office or library or laboratory, where practical work is done or data is collected. Anthropologists do much of their work in the field.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.